There you are. Perhaps I oughtn't to have recloistered myself till after the experiment concluded, Well, don't just stand there. Tell me What? No! It couldn't. Wait. Let's start from the beginning. Step me through your understanding of what's gone awry. Really? In what way? These are all fundamental building blocks of the universe. Together, they form the primordial soup our galaxy was formed from. This is widely recognized in scientific circles. This was just a start. Such models typically make an enormous amount of errors at first. All quite expected, an anticipated setback, nothing more. It simply needs to be revised and refined. You certainly seem to be making a lot out of this, though, one must say. Now, I'm starting to believe you're just needlessly fretting. Is this nerves? Look, there may be some validity to some of your points, yes. But we'll improve. We will continue to stride forward. There's absolutely no need for... Oh, is one of you a seer now? Now, is that all? Because I think I've had enough of all this. Really? Will I become a laughingstock among my peers? Have the whispered jeers begun already? No, calm down. Breathe. You've faced setbacks before. The experiment data just arrived in my terminal. Allow me to eyeball it a moment. Perhaps there's something here to help prove or disprove any of what you've been saying. There was notable variance to the input data, to an extent suggesting external dithering occurred. I hate to use the word sabotage, but disruptive intent seems clearly discernible. I strongly doubt there's much more to say. I fear this was a waste of valuable time.
If I may, I have a point I'd like to add. Well then, you failed. Our fallback plan's our only option now.
There you are. You saw the Perhaps I oughtn't to have recloistered myself till after the experiment concluded, Some issues? You seem like softening the blow. Was there a malfunction? Was there some error in the calculations? Wait. Let's start from the beginning. Step me through your understanding of what's gone awry. I assure you it is not. Grace was personally responsible for its selection after advisement by our team. Everything is modeled after top-order labs. What else concerned you? Solving the universal equation demands considerable thoroughness, though this was just a start. It simply needs to be revised and refined. You certainly seem to be... I miss her skepticalness and insight. If we could agree on a topic, there could be little doubt in its logic and rectitude. Look, there may be some validity to some of your points, yes. But we'll improve. We will continue to stride forward. Oh, is one of you a seer now? Now, is that all? Because I think I've had enough of all this. Everything we've done here is built off Seer Bujold's research, which is quite brilliant. That's both incorrect and rather mean. The experiment data there was notable variance to the input data. To an extent suggesting external... This has been...
If I may, I have a point. There's a critical time I might through
It lacks. That is an
We tried.
What was that? You're starting to worry me. What do you intend to do? There was notable variance to the input data. Did you?
I'll meet you out on the landing pad, once this is done. Fellow scholars of the Order, a tragic accident has occurred. During our recent experiment in Test Chamber Beta, we failed to recognize that ventilation systems had been left connected to Test Chamber Alpha. As you know, it had been recently refurbished as an enclosure for Ankaris Braun. She gave her life for science. Well, it's true that we found the related research deeply flawed, but she gave her life for the pursuit of science. As the experiment was a colossal failure, I, as senior scientist remaining, have determined we must abandon this inquiry and shut down the program immediately. Oh, such a terrible... Shame. Farewell.
I understand now why they say never meet your heroes, Intercessor Delgado. You've truly been an enormous disappointment. A key experiment fails and Ancrus Brunn falls prey to an unfortunate accident right after you and your consort arrive. And we are all to believe these events are unrelated?
That's circumstantial and more than a mite bit paranoid. I expect better from an Order scientician. Even one from the Department of Applied Scientism.
Don't think I don't see your handprints all over this, Delgado. Don't try to lay the responsibility for this on me. I'm not buying it. The Anchoress, poor trusting soul that she was, may have believed you were here in good faith. But I don't. You're looking more and more like enemies to me. Fascinating. You know, I reviewed that work myself, right? I'm well versed in manipulative prevarication from feckless mutineers. Try again. Or try facing a gauntlet of well-trained exemplars. I could always choose for you. An interesting argument. Well, I don't mean to waylay you overlong further. I know you're to blame. I just wanted to see how far you were gonna take this. I can't believe Ancrus Brunn fell for any of it. Fellow exemplars of the Order, commence hostilities!
Do try to limit further damage. Capacitor unit away. Discharge before it's discharged.
No suspects in sight.
Taking the fight out of them.
Your judgment has found you!
Fortificator at ready status.
Ready to dispense judgment!
Capacitor out. Get it while it's energized. Escalating aggression by 3.8% prison.
That's still burning my strength!
Mitigating the threat.
Oh, look who it is. The legendary former head intercessor of the Order. Another mission successfully completed. Made it through all that without a scratch, hmm? Glad to see. Say, I know this was difficult and rather a mess, but you listened. You tried to do right before you did what you must. I appreciate it, the attempt. No matter how that may sound.
The credit or blame belongs to the commander here. It was their decision, ultimately.
You forget I know you. You always thought you knew better. No one could ever convince you of anything. Before, that is. Good to see. Maybe you are facing yourself.
There are a few things
At any rate, I'm off. You all take care now. Marisol, don't be too enigmatic or anything. Try. Before I forget. Meant to give you this earlier.
Oh, thank you, Anais. Goodbye. Oh, Brunn obviously murdered her. Thought you knew that. Perhaps it was an accident. Perhaps she simply wanted to knock Chow unconscious so she could sneak away. Or not. Indefinite immurement isn't for everyone. Even the finest minds may crack under the strain. But her canned, feigned concern about Chow, how she kept changing the subject, both belied an underlying sense of guilt to me. Oh, not really. Not yet, at any rate. Everything's a bit raw right now. But suppose I will be. Thank you, dear.
I hope that Bouchol has not softened your instinct. We've many battles yet to fight. Now, you fire most sloppily.
Commander, it's customary to... I've had some time to cogitate over what occurred at Point Obviation. Some parts don't sit right with me still. Wonder if you and I might talk it through. A bit, yes. With the work I used to do, I'm no stranger to guilt and regret. Midway into my requisite sleep cycle is when it usually plagues me the most. We could have done better by Ankress Brunn. If we'd properly convinced her to abandon the research, I'd doubtlessly still lament duping her, but she'd be alive. And yet, such actions were par for the course for me in the past. When my remorse for Brunn rears its head, it will need to get in line. Yes, Southworth was complicit. And now she's dead. I hope so, at least. According to Anais, we could have reduced the likelihood of that occurring by completing the brain-off. It's not anywhere near zero, but it's unlikely. She seemed pleased that we at least attempted to address her concerns, so I've changed, apparently. Thanks to you. It's been a while since anyone gave me a good talking to like Anais did. And I'll admit your influence has been rather positive. I'm pleased with the path I'm on now. I didn't think this is what the plan had in store for me. I've been facing myself with the same zeal I face my enemies. With tidier results. Appreciate you taking the time to talk it over, Commander.
took what nature heedlessly assembled and vastly rebettered it through artificial means. At Auntie's Choice, we strive to be 110% wholly plus artificial. Artificiality is our guiding principle. Enjoy an artificially enhanced existence through the conspicuous...
You look befuddled. Or perhaps that's just your normal expression. Oh, answering that would come dangerously close to upward communication, which is not something we advocate in Auntie's Choice. Wouldn't want the junior ranks getting the idea that they can review or, law forbid, critique their seniors. Suffice to say, Auntie Cleo is without peer, quite literally. This corporation would be adrift without her as our steady bellwether. Aren't you adorable? Next, you'll be asking me to name a time I overcame adversity in the workplace. What is anyone apart from the function they perform? To wit, I am my job, and I rather think such an esteemed position speaks for itself.
It's high time one of you scientist types responded to my calling cards. The position's been open for more than 2 days, and already productivity is tanked by 149.4%. You want the role, it's yours, but I'm not budging on those hourly rates.
Let me guess. You're backfilling Rasmussen's position? Or all the scientists who work with him on Cloister lying cold on the lab floor?
Both, obviously. Unless you mean to tell me a graft like yours can install itself. Now, do you want the job or not? We're burning Starlight.
Seriously? You're playing the long con here and now?
Wonderful! Remind me of your qualifications. I send queries out to every scientist and science-adjacent employee in our Rolodex. I can't be expected to remember everyone. Yes, I can see that. But be advised, you get sick anywhere in here, I'm sending you the cleaning bill.
Well, you should. It's one of yours. Or was, rather. But I ain't exactly here for the job. Look, we found your lab on Cloister. A friend of mine who succumbed to his graft sent me there to put an end to your work. It was, well, it was damn troubling. But after speaking with your doc, I came to see that the program's got much potential. If we shift focus, reform our work, grafts could better the lives for all folk. Rasmussen's now with Doc Tinsley in Fairfield, and they're ready to restart this work if we can get your agreement. No more killing, much more progress. What do you say?
I see someone failed out of the anti-Cleo School of Persuasion. Why would I ever pursue something so dull as reform? How does it serve me? Rags? I'll have you know this suit was tailor-made for me at full price. But any publicity is, as they say, good. And in any case, Auntie's Choice has a certain manner of doing business. Reform suggests that I go against it. There's little to be gained from that. And any publicity is good, as they say. But there is one small fly in the soup. Who exactly are you to dictate to me what we should be doing? I did not even know your name before you stepped through this door.
If so, best put that out of mind right now. When I joined up in Tau Ceti, I was promised that if I proved myself, the moment would come where I could make a pitch for my own future. I ensured the safety of the delegates at the peace talks. I helped hunt down the fiend who destroyed our base on Golden Ridge. So yeah, I'd say the moment I'm owed has arrived.
Fine. Perhaps there is an opportunity here to expand our user base. But we can only pursue such a thing if we secure the funding. I could approach my business partner to this end, but I will require proof that this little reformation of yours is a viable investment. As such, you need to prove that a grafted trooper can achieve what the average one cannot.
You say that as though you have something in mind.
I do. The commander of our fortified position on Praetor has been chomping at the bit for a show of force, to rally the troops in our market share, so to speak. He will have all the minute details, of course, but assisting him and demonstrating your prowess will give us the leverage we need. Is this one having a laugh? Of course it'll be dangerous. Were it not, we would have dragged some poor bottom-runger bastard in to get the job done by now. Law knows there's enough to choose from. This here is a golden cysty pig of an opportunity. One that will reap rewards far beyond the buying price, consistently, every time we are hungry for a victory. Ha! I knew you were a sly one. You'll receive payment, all right, after you return. And I'm certain it'll be no issue. What with our grafted star tearing through the battlefield, leaving blood and terror in her wake.
Grafted soldiers aren't animals. I should think an executive of your stature would have an understanding of such.
Of course I do. But you cut quite the imposing figure. We'd be fools not to play it up so folk acquire full understanding of your advantages. Much like a sprat cowering rightfully in the jaws of a raptidon does.
They only have that understanding if they also have sense. Most sprats don't. They wander happily to their deaths in search of the smallest, richest morsels.
I could tell you possessed a modicum of business sense. Head to Praetor. I'll send a reporter with camera drones to meet you there and debrief with our ground forces.
Hold on. You didn't say anything about this being filmed.
Heroism is nothing without exciting footage and a talking head to sell it to the masses. So do make sure you put on a good show. Off you go, then.
Commander, watch your vitals!
You want freedom of choice. You want and